Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Need an answer to your question. John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a bouncing up on knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chats and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy update day. Yes, look, I know it's called GarageBand Weekly. That's the name of the show on the door. But we got big news. Good news, everybody. Version 1.1 of Logic Pro for iPad has just dropped. That's why I'm a little bit flabbergasted and flustered because I've been looking at it all morning. They're reading the update notes. They are extensive. I've installed it on my iPad. It's fairly much the same as the last version, but we'll talk about why that is and why that's okay in just a jiffy. And yeah, there's a lot going on here at the moment. I'm literally uploading my video as we speak that I created this morning, my first look video. So we'll be looking at it in this one, but then I'll probably spend some time during this show actually talking about it and getting ready and updating the video. So maybe we'll do that live at the end of the show. You'll get a little peek behind the curtain. So we will talk about that as well as answering any of your questions. We are here to be interactive. So if you've got any questions, just throw a big Q in front of your questions. And we are brought to you, as we are each and every week, by my GarageBand guide, which I usually have set up here, but I've had a whole bunch of other stuff there. If you go to studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand, you'll find it. It's got all the links to all of the playlists and all the ways you can interact with me and the community here on Studio Live today. Phew! Yes, all happening. G'day to the folks who are here live. Happy hello to you, Clayton Von Kluge. G'day, Thomas Christ. Hello to Gregory O'Sullivan, who says iPad OS 17 didn't bust any of my stuff, but I don't have everything. Updated the Mac today. iPad will be soon. Mark's going to update tomorrow. Jade's in the process of updating as we speak. Yeah. And it did also get updated on the Mac. I don't cover Logic on the Mac because it's a little bit out of my pay grade. It's slightly outside of my wheelhouse. So I did see a very good creator. There's a cool creator who I respect and appreciate, which is Music Tech Help Guy. So if you want to check out what's new with Logic Pro 10.8 on Mac, highly recommend Music Tech Help Guy on YouTube. Go and check out. In fact, I've got it here. If I can throw my iPad on the screen. That's the wrong screen. This is the correct screen here. So yeah, there you can see you got Logic Pro 10.8. This video here, haven't watched it yet, but we'll be watching it very soon because this Master Assistant that we've got is a brand new thing. Oops. No, we don't want to play that. Is a brand new thing in both the Mac version and the iPad version, as is the new Sample Alchemy pack that we got with some loops and some samples in there that we can play around with. We'll talk about all of that in just a jiffy. Who else have we got here? We haven't said g'day to. Hello to Rod Rodriguez. Hello to Emilio. I hope you are doing well. And hello to Fat Panda Cat. Also, thank you all for joining me. And if you've got feedback, if you've got information that you want to share, then go ahead. Because the more the merrier, the more information. That's why we do these shows live, so that you folks can actually share your experiences with this stuff. Because I don't have all the answers. In fact, you might argue that I don't have many of the answers. I rely on and lean on you folks for a lot of the information that we cover here on this show. I'm just checking. Sorry, if I'm distracted, I'm checking my uploads in the background. I'm using my mobile data here, and I've realized that it's in low data mode while I'm trying to upload my video while I'm doing this at the same time. So I've got to remember how to change that, how to take off my low data mode that we have. I can't remember. It'll have to just upload slowly. It'll get there. It's got about 30 minutes to go. It'll do that in the background. Colin Powell says, just finished watching the Music Tech Help Guy video about the Mac update. Looking forward to how they are on the iPad. And yeah, look, I'm not going to lie and say that I won't cheat, especially for things like the Master Assistant. I'll definitely be cheating and checking out that one on the Music Tech Help Guy before I actually play around with it. Thomas says they basically added the mastering features and got both versions more in line with each other, bringing iPad new features to Mac. There you go. That's it. I like it. That sounds easy, because the more consistency we have between the two platforms and the two bits of software, the better, in my humble opinion. I've got the wrong screen shared here, so let me just remove. You might have seen that just when I did that before. I'm just going to share the correct screen, which I think is not screen 2, but screen 1, just so that we can show my desktop here. Let's just do a quick test run on that one in case we need to show it later. There we go. Yes, there's all the new features that we can take a look at. In terms of other news and notes, look, this show was going to be all about the new Apple Mac M3. We talked about it a little last week. They're out there now. They're in the wild. People are starting to play with them. The reviews are coming through, and as expected, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. This is an evolutionary update. It's not a revolutionary one. So we're not seeing a whole lot. There they are. There's the new iMac and the new MacBook Pro. We're not seeing a heap of surprises. People are like, it's fast. It's slightly faster than the M2. And do keep in mind that if you are looking at the M3 and looking at buying an M3, keep in mind that the Pros and the Maxes and the Ultras, they're going to be faster than the next one along. So if you're rocking an M2 Pro or Ultra or Max and you're thinking, I'll upgrade, but I'll just go the M3, the numbers can be deceiving. Don't think you're going to get more power and more performance by updating and getting a higher number on your machine. It doesn't always work that way, unfortunately. But that being said, the M3 Pro and Max especially are absolutely ridiculous. They are flying along, and the performance as well as the efficiency. So as you can see there, the 22 hours of battery life, the displays on those things, they're basically they are the same display as the last ones, as the M2s and even the M1s. But those displays are ridiculous. The liquid retina displays are great. And the space black, I guess the controversy about the space black is that from those that have seen it in the wild, in real life, they say it's more like a dark grey than a space black. But yes, no, it can't be faster because they ain't red. Yes, I know. 1 minute, 30 seconds faster, 1 minute faster. Yeah, not touching that. Not touching those ones. So you can go and check those out now. They're available to order right now if you've got all the money and you want to go and get yourself a brand new MacBook Pro or a brand new iMac with the M3, M3 Pro or M3 Ultra. You can go ahead and do that. It is an option you have. All right, I'm just going to come in here and check it. Low data mode off. There we go. I'm like, I need to upload this faster on my iPad. If you're not familiar, I've just remembered how to do that, by the way, here in your iPad. And let's jump over so I could just show you. So, if you ever have that low data mode thing that pops up, just come in here to your Wi-Fi, tap on there, and turn off low data mode. Thankfully, my password was protected there, was covered up. So that's uploading my video, my first look video. But guess what? You're going to get the first look, because the only other news and note that I have for you today, and the only other thing we're really going to be talking about, is going to be Logic Pro for iPad and the update version 1.1. Let's go through some details and set some expectations, shall we? The first thing is, how many times have we said this before? Am I a broken record with this stuff? Yes. Am I going to keep saying it forever because it's super important? Also, yes. And that is, before you update, before you come in here to the App Store and get disappointed because you're on iPad OS version 16 and you want this new hotness, guess what? You need to be on iPad OS 17 before you can update. If you came in here and you search Logic Pro for iPad in your App Store, that's not going to have a download button for you unless you are on the right version, which is iPad OS 17. Now, what is my rule with this? You know it. Say it with me, folks. If you're in the middle of a major project and you want to make sure you finish it on time and you don't want to have incompatibility, you better stay put before you change or you're going to be pissed off. Yeah. See, I need to do a song. There you go. Maybe that's the song I should create in Logic Pro for iPad. I should actually jump in there and create a song about why you shouldn't update your iOS prematurely. No one likes things when they happen prematurely. Sometimes it's better and more satisfying to wait. Okay. Anyway, let's dive in here. So, what is new? And you can see that what new here. We'll have a look at it on the other page in a moment, but they've got some of the sort of highlight enhancements. Definitely, this mastering assistant is the one that they're talking to as well. There's a few bunch of things with drag and drops and other things there, and then your hybrid textures, your sample alchemy pack, and that's probably what we'll play around with here today because I haven't had a chance to really dig into this. And I want to have some fun. So maybe we'll put it to the test and see if all these bug fixes and improvements have not caused any additional issues by actually creating something there. But before we dive in, we'll open it up. Before we dive in and actually start creating here in Logic Pro for iPad, let's jump over and check out the details. So if we go over to Safari, here is one I prepared earlier. That's me in my StreamYard. Here it is. So here's the release notes for Logic Pro iPad 1.1. Now, it'd be a pretty boring show if I just read through these because let me just do a quick scroll. Let me just show you the extensivity. It's a word now. How extensive these updates are. So there's your highlights. You've got the mastering assistant. We've got recording live into the quick sampler to create instruments and drum kits using the built-in microphone or any connected audio device. That's pretty cool. That's something you've been able to do on Logic Pro for Mac, I believe. And when they launched it on iPad, you didn't really get the ability to just, you could import your samples, but recording directly in was not something you could do cool. You can interact seamlessly between apps like voice memos with added support for split view and stage manager. We'll see about that. It works fine. Would I have loved to have seen a standalone folder where you can have folders of all your samples and all your loops in your library rather than having to store them and drag and drop them? Yes, but is this going to be a bit better, an improvement? Probably. Instantly audition samples, loops, or instruments in the browser by sliding your finger up or down. I don't know what that means, but we'll play with it. We're basically going to go through these 6 things here in the show here today because there's going to be a lot to look at. And then the free hybrid textures sample pack, including a collection of 70 patches and over 80 loops built from sounds flipped into creative playable instruments. Creative playable instruments. I like the sound of that. Sounds cool. Then look at all this business. You got enhancements. You got stability and reliability, performance. I'm super impressed. Look, I'm always impressed with Apple's accessibility, but we've got so many updates here to accessibility. And look, GarageBand's really good for folks with vision impairment and accessibility requirements. Logic Pro upon launch wasn't as good. It looks like they've actually improved things here. But look at all this. There's screen 1. There's screen 2. I'm not going to read these. There's screen 3. There's screen 4. And there's screen 4.5. 4.5 screens. I think there's almost 100 individual separate improvements and enhancements for accessibility in Logic Pro for iPad 1.1, which is pretty cool. Subscriptions. Let's just reiterate as well that subscriptions are required. So it is a paid app. You are going to be paying your $10 a month to be able to use Logic Pro. Is it $10? $5? Have I forgotten? Someone will correct me in the chat. It is a paid subscription. You can pay yearly or you can pay, I just paid for the year and forgot about it, to be really honest. But it's a monthly or yearly subscription. So you do have to pay for that if you do want Logic Pro. And apparently, folks were having issues when they were connected via a VPN because it was saying you're not actually in Guatemala because maybe you just wanted to watch Guatemala Netflix and now you're in trouble. And apparently that's been fixed for you, which is good. The sampler has had a bunch of changes. Quick Sampler and Sample Alchemy has had a heap of changes there. The Beat Breaker has had a couple of little tweaks there. The Mixer, I like the look of this one. Swiping the Mixer to arm multiple tracks. See, I'm intrigued. We're going to be jumping around a bit with this. So does that mean that we can just I guess if you had them. Okay, so I'm swiping my finger up and down and it's tapping on those. I guess if they had separate audio interface, like separate things. So if we have where's the guitar and vocals? Like if I went slide, no, they must be on the same audio input. So yeah, that is a thing. that we have apparently. And then yeah, look at all the mixer stuff, plugins and extensions. This will be the interesting one because, as you may know, I don't use a heap of third-party plugins and AUV3 plugins in my normal workflow, but that's been one of the things. Looking at the Logic Pro for iPad users group over on Facebook, and shout out to a friend of the show and friend of all of us, Patrick, over at the GarageBand Guide. Yeah, a lot of people on that Facebook group have been talking about a heap of different plugins, even very basic plugins, AUV3 plugins, that have not been working. That isn't the mixer. You're spot on, Colin. I was in the that was the main area. This is the mixer, so that's probably what it is. But how would you? Is it the same sort of thing? Oh, there you go. I just swiped across two and it did that. So I guess the idea there is say you got a drum kit and you got like 8 inputs. Instead of having to go tap, 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 you just grab it and you go whoop, and as long as they were on different inputs, it would actually work. Okay, that's a good point. So yeah, like I say, this is why we do this live, because I'm going to make mistakes. In fact, I adore making mistakes. I think if you don't make mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. You're not experimenting enough. Plugin tiles, play surfaces, step sequencer, sound library and browser. These are all quality of life stuff. These aren't going to blow everyone's proverbial skirts up, but it's a good thing because someone is struggling with some of these. And can I just reiterate, I did a video recently about how to raise a ticket, how to put in a problem ticket, and how to report a bug with anything with Apple, with GarageBand, with Logic Pro. This is why it's important to do this. The few times I speak to Apple, they tell me they've got it doesn't look like it because they don't toot their own horn. They're not coming out there saying, we found this bug and we found this bug. They do big sweeping updates like this. But all of these, the vast majority of these are based on users that have actually raised it. And they'll look at this and they'll prioritize it based on how many people are having that same problem. So please, for the love of your deity of choice, do go and submit and report your bugs. We have automation, we have takes, we have the Apple Pencil, flex time and flex pitch. And I know that many of you are going to be saying, when are we going to get the proper flex time that we have in Logic for Mac? It appears that we don't have that in the short term, and I don't imagine that we're going to get a significant change or improvement to that in the future, but you never know. Imports, we've got a bunch of different changes for the import. We've got the share and export. Undo is now working with things it wasn't working with, the settings and global, the external hardware, editing, and a bunch of general stuff there. There's so much in there that I've read each one of these. What stood out to me that was kind of hidden in the weeds that I think might be interesting to some folks is, and I can't remember where it is in here, but it is now supporting 32-bit floating point for your sample rate. So if you're aware of what that means, here in Logic Pro and in GarageBand for the longest time, one of the drawbacks is if you've got an audio interface that supports 32-bit floating point audio, you've only had 24-bit up to a maximum of 24-bit sample rate here in, bit depth. Oh, man. Sampling rate is the 44.1 kilohertz, 48 kilohertz. Your bit depth is 24-bit. You've now got the ability to support 32-bit floating point if your hardware supports it. So if you're using one of the new generation Focusrites or Steinberg interfaces or iRigs that support 32-bit, you've now got the option for 32-bit. If, like me, you're using one that actually, I think mine does support 32-bit. I haven't actually tried. Maybe I'll have to have a look at that. Let's see if we can actually adjust that. So I've got to remember now where it actually has where you set the sample rate. I don't know. You can tell I haven't used this in a while. Nah, not sure. But yeah, 32-bit is apparently supported. We'll explore that and find out where it is and how it is as we go through. So that's your highlights. What do you think? What's your view on this? Because for me, this is exactly what I expected. But I know for many folks, it's a bit like when the Macs were released last week and they didn't, I don't know, have a built-in vaping storage or, I don't know, that's a really weird one to go with. But they didn't have anything like brand new and revolutionary. And I think that's the case with this as well, is that we're not going to get really new things. And I guess if you want new, we've got that Master Assistant and we've got the new sample pack. But outside of that, it really is just going to be improving and enhancing. And I think if you're waiting for, here's what I'll say. This is going to be a bit of a hot take, but if you're waiting for Logic Pro for iPad to be exactly what Logic Pro for Mac is, you're going to be waiting a very long time. If you're using things like Complete, if you've got sample libraries of terabytes and terabytes of sounds and loops, if you're using really high-end play surfaces and control surfaces, if you're using 16 channels of input and output that have really high-end audio interfaces that need all the drivers, you're still better off with Mac. If you want multiple screens so that your workflow, you can have your mixer on one and your play play surface and your recording surface on another, you're probably going to need to stay on the Mac. So I don't think that's unknown, but there are some people that I've seen in the community that are like, they should just call this Logic because this isn't Logic Pro. This isn't for a pro. And I agree, it's not for a certain type of pro. It's not for the pro that already has a complete Mac setup, because it's not going to be transferable. Yes, fundamentally, it has the same power. In fact, many people, my iPad has way more processing power, more memory, and more capacity than my Mac. So for me, it's actually a more powerful machine, but it doesn't have the flexibility, the I/O, input/output, and the ability to use multiple samples and loop libraries and things like that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I don't think it's unknown, but I've seen some folks sort of complain. And I know sometimes it's fun to complain, just have a bit of a whinge about things, but I don't know that it's necessary. Hello, Hairbrush Microphone. Jade Starr has updated. It's joined us on the iPad OS 17. Yeah, it's taken a while. Would you like to appreciate my T-shirt real quick? On the back, there's all the gigs. I went to the one in Adelaide. It was his, what was it? No, it wasn't Mandatory Fun. Can't remember the name of the tour. But yes, Weird Al for the win. Who doesn't love Weird Al? Weird Al rocks. Weird Al rocks the Casbah. So yeah, continue to provide your feedback and let me know your thoughts and what you think of this update. Is my video actually uploading here in the background? It's at 37%. It's taken a while. I'm wondering if I should switch back. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit here. While we play around with here, I'm just going to, I want to get this updated and uploaded because I would love to be able to show you a bit behind the scenes, because I've put a very quick first look video together and I'm uploading it here to YouTube as we speak. And it would be cool to be able to just show what I do behind the scenes and put it out, put a video out live. Yeah, that's better. So now there's only like 4 minutes remaining, but it may eat into my bandwidth that we have here. Does the iPad Mastering Assistant work in the same vein as Mastered for iTunes, Apple Digital Master, or do you have to work for that? So that's a different thing. That's more to do with the quality. So it's not directly related to the Apple iTunes, Apple Digital Master. From memory, and I haven't looked into this for a while, that is that you need to have at least a 96 kilohertz sample rate and at least 48, let's try that again. I think 96 kilohertz sampling rate and 24-bit audio to be considered a Apple quality master, and the same with Tidal and places like that. So it just means if you've got like a 16-bit master or 44.1 kilohertz, that's not considered sort of full high fidelity, high quality audio. So I think it's more to do with that. I guess what this will do, now that we've got 32-bit floating point and you can support 96 kilohertz or up to a 192 kilohertz sample rate, then yeah, you would be able to have that higher quality. So GarageBand can't do that, for instance. GarageBand tops out at 44.1 kilohertz sample rate and 24-bit bit depth, whereas Logic Pro for iPad, like Logic Pro and like even GarageBand on Mac, now has that higher quality audio format as well. But yes, good question indeed. But yeah, I don't think. In fact, let's answer the question properly, because we have access to this wonderful thing called the internet, mastered for iTunes. Let's jump on over here. So this is on the Apple webpage. Let's do it together. Creating Apple creating Apple Digital Masters. Let's jump in and take a look at this. So we'll zoom in upon this. We're committed to delivering music, blah, blah. Here is some history and information that guided those decisions. So this is, So AAC, high resolution digital recording. What are the actual specs though? Lossless. So it's basically saying it wants master for Apple's AAC encoder. So yeah, it's a good question actually. I don't think this has the answers. This is too much detail. But I think it's related to that. So the Apple Digital Masters just means that it's the highest quality that you can have, and it's lossless, so it's not compressed. So definitely MP3s, M4As, definitely not going to qualify. You will need, and they're saying AAC, so Apple's lossless codec, which I believe, let's have a look. Does Logic Pro for iPad support the ability to export AAC? That's a good question. Let's have a look here. Export, uncompressed, wave, compressed. See, it does that. See, AAC is one of their compression formats, but AAC, Apple Lossless Audio Codec. So it's probably this ALAC that you would have to export it at. But I don't know how that would be better than Wave. Let's admit that I don't know the answer to that, and maybe it's something that I need to look into in more detail. But I think it'll help. It can't hurt. Yeah, there's no spatial audio for iPad yet either. So that that is a thing. Compression can be your friend or your worst enemy. I know, and it can also be confusing, because when we talk about compression in audio, it can mean two things. It can mean file compression, or it can mean audio compression, and that's different. The Mac version does have spatial audio. I've played around with that a little bit. To be honest, let's be really honest, I struggle to mix in stereo. I'm not diving into 5.1 or 7.1 or 10.1 channel audio anytime soon. Hello, GR. Thank you for joining us. I don't think it includes spatial audio. I think that's a separate thing, so you can actually release Dolby Atmos, which a lot of distributors support. DistroKid do support it, but it's quite costly. I think it's $29 a song to release something using spatial audio / Dolby Atmos. They're kind of interchangeable, but not really. Hey, it's confusing. Dobly. What was it? Yeah, the Spinal Tap. It's recorded in, you want to record it in Dobly? No, it's rock and roll. All right, let's dive over to the iPad. Yes, I'm sure Thomas Dolby would be a rich dude at this point in time. Everyone uses his noise reduction. Do people still use Dolby noise reduction? I still see there's Dolby Atmos and Dolby Digital, and what was the Dolby Surround, and all those sort of things. Back in the day, back in the DVD day, they were definitely there. Let's create a new song in Logic Pro. Haven't done this for a while. Let's create projects, see if Johns can remember how to do this. We're going to use the tracks view mode because I prefer the tracks view mode. Let's create. Should we go into a MIDI instrument? Got the studio horns. All right, let's play with this. So if we go to let's go to the sound library. So the hybrid textures, this one comes with sample alchemy patches, so that's what we're going to have to be using, and 81 Apple loops. In fact, let's use some Apple loops first, if I remember how to get to these loops. They're up here in this one, aren't they? We should be able to go to this by pack. Oh man, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've used this. If we go to this filter button here, instruments, where am I seeing? Developers. Why am I not seeing packs? Am I missing something? Oh, sound packs, right down the bottom here. So there's all our sound packs. Is it going to just be right at the end of all of these? Is that the way it works? Cinematic synths? No. Could be done better here, couldn't it? We'll find it. These are very small, and they're like, there it is, hybrid textures. So we'll tap on the hybrid textures. By the way, I have found, you know how I was whinging about the fact that sometimes your clicks don't work for turning things on and off? They're working better. I've still found that they don't work sometimes just randomly, but it seems to be more consistent when you're using the trackpad. So there you go. All right. So let's choose some of these loops. We'll get rid of our play surface for now. We should be able to... There's that new thing. Okay. Our first new thing, which I kind of actually like, because when you're auditioning sounds here and you're trying to find which one, you have to tap it to play it, and then tap it again to go off. Tap it again, tap it off, tap it again. But what if you just wanted to sample like a whole heap in a row? So say you're like, oh, which of these water jug plucks do I want? Water jug pluck. You're a water jug pluck. Okay. So what we can do is tap and hold and then just slide down. So we can actually drag down on these and just audition them one by one. Watch this. I kind of like number 4. So then we should just be able to tap that and drag that over. Tap and drag it and drop it, and it should create us a new track. Oh, I kind of really adore that. All right, let's use that in this new track. We'll play around with some other things, but I love a good jug pluck. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. I love a good jug pluck. I have to be really, really careful saying that. It's YouTube's going to mishear me. All right, so let's go to loop mode. By the way, if you need a Logic Pro, a heap of videos here on the channel, all the Logic Pro tutorials if you want to learn it. Let's loop this out. Oh, still got the problems with the tapping of the thing. Still quicker and easier to use your finger. Ding. All right. Man, the innuendo today is off the charts. Yeah, girl. We're creating Logic Pro. That's kind of cool. All right, we'll go with that for the time being. What else have we got in here? We've got some... That's kind of cool. And these ones are our sample alchemy, aren't they? So if we... I'm sliding around now, and sometimes it's doing that when I don't really mean it to. So here what we can do is we can create a sample alchemy by dragging that onto a separate track, and we can use this as our own instrument, so we can actually play it rather than just using the preset. Maybe not. Maybe that's the wrong way to go with that. Let's remove that. Delete it. What other stuff do we have here? Let's look at our audio loops. That's kind of cool. The storyteller memories. Let's bring that one in after, say, a bar. So we'll bring that in here. Is this going to work? Yeah. No. That's the problem when you're using Apple Loops, is that you kind of have to use your loop first before you go into anything else. So I don't think that's going to work. I'm going to leave that there because I kind of like that sound. See if we play with it a bit later. Are there any other loops that are going to work with this? Oh, Ruby. Ruby. So the vast majority of these are MIDI loops or sequencer loops. I like that. Let's bring that in. Is that going to work with that little dop, 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 dop? Let's try it. And hit the play button. Boo, 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 boo. That works. Why not? Bubble bass is a pretty thick and sweet and meaty. Is that in here? Or is that in a different pack? I'm trying to use the new pack here because I figure I should try and use these hybrid textures. What else we got? We need something that's bassy. So we can use some of these to bass music. All right. What's the Glasshouse melody? There's some fun stuff here. I do like the fact that in Logic Pro we get these partial matches that we can put in here, which might work with it. So can we search as well while we're doing all this? If we just search for bass, that's kind of cool. Can we bring this in here? All right, let's drag this one in here. Let's play these together. Yeah, I need like a vocal sample over the top, don't we? Yep. All right, let's just bring that back so we can do like the last bar. We'll just do that. Nice. What has Thomas asked here? Did they add a new auto drummer feature to iPad? On Mac, you can now use different drummers within one drummer instance set by region. Oh, that's cool. Let's have a look, shall we? Well, we're here live. We can play with these things. So let's go to the drummer. We'll add a new drummer track. It's been a while since I've been in here. I must admit, every time I come back to Logic Pro, I get kind of lost. So if we jump in here, we'll add the drummer. And so what? So we've got the pop songwriter drummer here. So we can change this up by region. Could we not do that before? Probably haven't actually tried it. Let's go back to the start of the track. Doomp, doomp, doomp. And what if we want this to go to like a really hard drummer here? Stop. So if we wanted to, say, create another region here, we'll take it off loop mode. Probably doing the wrong thing here. Like I say, it's been a while since I've used Logic Pro. I'll stop making excuses for myself. It's like, you're an educator, John. You should know everything. No, I know nothing. I teach myself as I go. So, yeah, because we can always use different kits and things. So we can change up the actual drummer here, can we? So say we want to go to like an electronic, like a neo soul drummer there. You can move between it. Is that? Okay. Yeah. So you can change it up there. Could you not do that before? I'd probably never tried. Or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing there, but is that what's new? But that seems pretty cool if you can. Exactly. There are new rules. Yeah, split it and try to change the second region to say percussions. Yeah, let's do that. So let's start with percussions. Yeah, it does look like it worked a treat there. So if we come back in here, go back to our drummer, and why don't we start with yeah, like a percussionist instead? Like, well, let's start Latin. Oh, do you want to load the default patch to the drummer? Yeah, go on. Pretty cool. All right. Nice one. So the other thing we need to do here, if I can remember how to do it, is to create an actual alchemy track so that we can use one of the instruments and one of the sounds in that, which I must admit I can never remember quite how to do. So let's see if it'll guide us through here. Save me. No, I can never remember how to do it because I don't use these. That's the problem. It would be a MIDI track, wouldn't it? Let's create one, because we should be able to go to instrument patches and then go here, sound packs. Now we're going to find that sound pack again. Must admit, this is a bit harder, but I guess you normally wouldn't care about just finding one particular sound pack here. Hybrid textures. All right, so we're in our hybrid textures, and let's. That's cool. And I've never played with it much, but you can see here with your sample alchemy patches, you can do so many things to them. You can actually split it up and chop it and play around with whatever you want there. So we've added that patch there. Let's see if we'll play along here. I think I found my little part that I'm going to play here. A minor. Up to the F. So we'll start at the A and the A minor here. What fun. Let's try one of the other patches. We need like a low down kind of one, don't we? So we should be able to duplicate this out and then just change up the patch. By the way, when you're changing your different patches over here, if you have this selected, it's going to actually change it as you tap that. If you don't, you have to actually drag it across. So if we want to just have this selected so that it'll change on the fly to whatever we select. We need something that's going to be like a nice low down sound. We'll try these lo-fi vibes, but play them down low. So tap that one, it'll change it, and then come. Use this as a makeshift kind of bass sound here. Let's just play along a bit. Hit the record button. Wow. Cool. Yes, the wow fits the bass drop. Yeah, you could do lots of cool stuff with this. By the way, if you're like me and you get stuck in these sort of spots, double tap and you get back to here. I always get really like stressed out when I have too much stuff on my screen. I just want to get back to here. Double tap again takes you right back to where you were. So if you're working on something and you're like, I just need some space, man, double tap down the bottom there and you're going to get it back. So why am I creating something like this? Well, I want to try out this new mastering option that we have here, but I've never used it before, and I've never used, because I'm not a Logic Mac user very much. Man, the trackpad's still sucking with the dragon, just quietly, which is a bit of a sad thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, so what was this? I'm now Pete Bull. I'll take it. Thank you, OG Sunshine. Yeah, if you'd like to hit the thumbs up, guns up button, then feel free to do so down below. So let's us, you and I, let's learn the new, like as if we don't know anything about it, because I don't. Let's learn the other kind of highlighted function in here, which is going to be, if we go to Safari, is going to be, don't need StreamYard, this one here. So there's a whole section in here. And by the way, I've been threatening to do my read the full manual for Logic Pro. Because I didn't do it straight away with version 1, I was kind of waiting for version 1.1. So let me know if you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, do you want that series? Do you want the Learn Along with Johns with Pete Bull? Pete Bull presents Read the Full Manual. Because I've really wanted to do a series where I literally just go into the 480-page Logic Pro manual and go page by page. You reckon? Yeah, I should add some Vox, shouldn't I? All right. I think I have. Yes. I have the microphone here handy. That's not what the F... Oh, isn't it? I thought it was full. Is it not what the F stands for? thought it was that. Yeah, should we add some vocals? Because why not? I happen to have my microphone and my red XLR cable here handy. And you know what we can do? We can test. Can you imagine? I've reported one major bug that pisses me off about Logic Pro for iPad, and it's the one where it switches. When you plug a microphone in, it switches your input to stereo whenever you change the audio patch preset. Can you imagine if of the 427 things that they've changed, one of the things that they haven't is the only thing that Johns cares about? They're like, we fixed the MIDI clock sync timing for one particular keyboard. And I'm like, yeah, that thing where you plug your thing in and it messes up everything, is that still a problem? Hopefully not. Let's find out. Let's you and I find out together, shall we? We're going to hit the plus button here. We're going to go to audio and let's find ourselves a vocal patch. We'll go to voice. What's going to be the sort of thing? Let's do these. Maybe the dance vocal reverb. That is cool. For doing something like this, I was using that new feature where you just slide your finger up and down and you can sample each of those. And then I've added that here. So let's just tap there. Let's check the input. So we can use our little slider, our fader here that we can pop in. So we are on. Input is input 1. That's fine. Output can be stereo output. No problems. We're happy with that. Input monitoring we're going to turn on. Yo, yo. And we're good to go. La! Maybe I should just sing that. La! So let's test this live and exclusively. If we change this to, say, the classic vocal. Come on, Apple. You've got this. I believe in you. Okay, it's staying on the one input. Let's change it to bright vocal. It's staying on the first input. Oh, did you fix it for me? Apple, I love you. Yes. So what it was doing before is every time you changed this vocal patch. Oh, now the input's on bus 2. What? Okay, that's a... Oh, because I'm using a different one now. Why is the input now bus 2? Oh no. Maybe it hasn't fixed it. What's happened? What's happened here? All right, that's better. Ba, ba. So maybe maybe some more of the... Let's go with the modulation vocals. That looks fun. Okay, so for most of them, it's definitely working most of the time. I think some of those vocals was using like some bus sends and some auxiliary effects as well, which is not a thing. La, la. All right, let's what are we going to record here? You know me, I'll just make something up. There'll be a yeah girl involved. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's hit record and see what we do. Oh yeah, y'all ready for this? It's Logic Pro on iPad. We got a new package version 1.1. We're gonna master a brand new song, but we don't know what is gonna go wrong. I hope they fix all of those bugs. You know what we say? Yeah, girl. Oh, wow. That was possibly the worst vocal performance of my entire career. But is it fun? Yeah, it is fun. Oh, yeah. Y'all ready for this? It's Logic Pro on... Oh, brand new song that we don't know what is gonna go wrong. I hope they fix all of those bugs. You know what we say? Yeah, girl. Oh wow, that was possible. That was possibly the worst. All right, let's bring it back into the mix. We're not going to spend much time with this. We just need some audio to work with here. Oh yeah. Y'all ready for this? It's Logic Pro on iPad. We got a new package version 1.1. We're gonna master a brand new song. We don't know what is gonna go wrong. I hope they fix all of those bugs. You know what we say? Yeah, girl. Oh, jeebus. All right. We won't mess about with that. Let's learn how to master, shall we? And forget that that ever happened. Let's click through here and check out the Mastering Assistant. So, using Mastering Assistant in Logic Pro. All right. So, where do we insert it? Hang on. Has this taken us to Logic Pro for Mac and iPad? But it's got the version here on iPad. So on Mac, so it's got the same. Oh, okay. Tap the mixer button, setup button in the mixer, then tap mastering at the bottom of the audio effects slot. Should we just grab it and check? Let's see. Because it looks like we've got corrective EQ, we've got loudness, we've got stereo spread. Let's wing it, shall we? I'm assuming we'll want to put it on our stereo bus here. So we're here in the mixer, going to setup mode. We tap on this plus button, and is that? Oh, there it is. There's a little mastering button there. So we tap on that, and it brings up our mastering analysis. Oh, so it auto-analyzes, does it? That's pretty cool. Let's go back to this view, and we'll go to the Mastering Assistant. Oh, it's like your own little mastering console. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so to be honest, it's basically doing, like it's adding in your LUFS, your metering there. It's, what has it got here? It's got your stereo width there. Oh, so it's done all this. So it's auto mastering. I like it. All right, let's play this and see what it's doing. Oh yeah, y'all ready for this? It's Logic Pro on iPad. We got a new package version 1.1. It's gonna master a brand new song, but we don't know what is gonna go wrong. Okay, fair enough. So it looks like we have a bunch of options over here for the type, so the character. I'm assuming clean. Valve is probably like using like an analog sort of style. Punch, I'm assuming, is like just going to increase everything. And transparent. Custom EQ. Okay, so it's doing EQ adjustments there. You've got your loudness over here, so I'm assuming, can we pump that up? Not with our... No, we can with our finger, not with our mouse, because that would be easy. Come on. Fix your mouse support here, Apple. So I have to use my finger to increase that. And then we've got stereo width here, I'm assuming, as well. So let's just play with some of these options before we learn what they do. Oh, yeah. Y'all ready for this? So Mark says, click on the loudest conversation pitch, because they're bypassed to compare the effect of mastering. Got it. We're gonna master a brand new song, but we don't know what is gonna go wrong. I hope they fix all of those bugs. You know what we say? Yeah, girl. Okay, so yeah. Look, I can see where this has value. It's basically doing all the things that we did in the past, like when I last did, when I did a song. In fact, you know what would actually make more sense is rather than using our little fun time project here, which I need to rename, by the way. Gotta remember how to rename in Logic. They really haven't fixed the mouse stuff. That's the pain. All right, let's rename this one to, what are we going to call this song? Peatball. I'm just going to call it Peatball because I'll know what that means now because you folks have renamed me to Peatball. Let's go back to my Song Timber song, shall we? Let's go to Choices and we'll get this version 18 and we'll duplicate that. How are we doing on time? We're going to go over time today, folks, just so you know. This is going to be an extended edition of GarageBand Weekly for you. So where is that one created? So it's 18. Has it gone to 19? Where did it just put that? There it is. It's put it out of order. So we'll rename this one to Choices Mastering Master Chest. But yeah, this looks like it could be a cool thing for folks that don't want to know too much. You don't want to pay for an online mastering thing, but you still want to get a good quality master without learning how to master yourself. Then why not? Hey, if it's a thing, I'll be using this. For a quick master, you better bloody believe I'll be using this. All right, so let's come here. So I've already got stuff on my stereo bus here. So I've got gain adjustment, I've got the level meter and the loudness meter that are already here on my stereo bus. So which I think was just gaining it down, wasn't it? Oh, the limiter's not actually on there. I must have been playing around with this without it. So yeah, I've got the adaptive limiter and the limiter on here that I've been playing around with. They're off at the moment. So if I go to setup mode here, yeah, look, I can actually add mastering there. So then it's going to do the analysis. This will be interesting to see how it analyzes it. People XL, People Extended Edition. Maybe this is the thing. I'm just going to jump over here. While that does that, I just need to set something up. Because we're here in the live stream. Is this working? Oh, no. Sorry. My bad. I'm still learning how to use all these new YouTube tools, just quietly. And I'm trying to work out how... I'll be honest, I'm trying to work out how to put an ad in here at the moment. I can't do it because I haven't got this all set up the way that I should have it done. So bear with me just a moment. Just need to jump in here to the live session. There it is. There's how I do it. And all right, so we'll be back after these short messages, folks. Hang around. We'll see if that actually worked and if you were served an ad. If you're using the now much more expensive YouTube Premium, then you probably didn't get an ad, which is good. Well, you shouldn't have. If you did, that was wrong. You can select the loudest region to master. Okay, so you can do it by different regions. I'm going to have to read the manual on this one for sure. Let's just go into the mastering now that it's done that. We need to go back to the master view here and tap on the mastering assistance. So, okay, so yeah, it's doing a thing. Let's play my song. That's pretty good. Ah, gotcha. So the loudness compensation is a good thing. If you're not familiar with what that means, loudness compensation means that it's always going to sound better when it's louder, right? So loudness compensation means that it'll just let you hear what the master sounds like without it feeling, or without it actually being just more dB, because that's not really what you want. You don't want it to just be more decibels. You want it to actually have, to listen to the fact that the actual sound is sounding better. So that's cool. So loudness compensation on there and then playing it. So that's how it's mixed it. Yes, louder does always sound better. And then we bypass it. So yeah, you can actually hear those EQ changes. Yeah, as Mark says here, turn off the other plugins. These ones are only meters. The only thing I have here is this gain plugin, which was just turning it down to create some headroom for the master. So it's gained down 5 dB, and then these were just level meter and loudness meter. So they weren't actually doing any changes. The limiter I had here is not actually on. So that's the limiter that I had for the original mastered version that I did here. Cool. So that is an option. I think that's going to be good for a lot of folks to just have that mastering assistant. And if it aligns with what we have available over on Mac, then that's a good thing as well. What do you think overall? I'd love to get your feedback. If you're watching on the replay, by the way, and there's things that you do want me to check out, let's be honest, we'll be spending, Pete was going to have a few days off. I'm not going to now. That'll be postponed because I'll want to be checking out all the cool things that this has to offer as well. You can also choose the type of mastering where it's written transparent. Try Punchy. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Before we finish up here, let's try the Punchy, because this is a song that would probably benefit from a more punchy. This is similar to if you've used auto mastering. So transparent basically means you don't want it to add any character. You just want it to improve the sound, to push the limit up and to make sure it's radio ready. But let's try a punchy mix here. We'll come down to the louder part. Loudest conversation on. Yeah, so you can definitely hear it's enhancing, especially a lot at the top end there. So auto EQ at the moment is there. I'm assuming you can customize the EQ there. So it's doing a little boost in the low end. It's scooping out some mids. It's adding a little bit. So very, very typical kind of EQ that you do here. You want a little extra bass, remove those sort of nasally frequencies through the mids, and then give yourself a little air at the top, which is what the analysis has decided that I need here. I like it. Hey, it's using AI or machine learning, whatever Apple like to call it. You have to tap reanalyze. That's a good thing. Good thing today. See, we're learning as we go along here. Okay, so if we reanalyze, it runs the machine learning again. The machines will tell us what to do. Pretty cool though. Pretty fun. Good stuff. All right, let's see. So if you have any questions, by the way, I know we've spent a lot of time looking at this. If you do have any other questions about, GarageBand, because this is a GarageBand Weekly, or anything else to do with music creation, please go ahead and ask that now. Put a Q in front of your question, and we can answer that one. What I am going to do in just a moment is actually take you behind the scenes. Okay, that's done now. Let's just play this. Cool. Nice and punchy. I like it. So if you only select one section, it'll analyze that section. Is that what we're saying? That's probably the case. Yeah, a lot to learn. Look forward to another video all about this in the future. Appears to be very useful, if not most useful, update in the iPad version. A bit like Isotope. Yeah, look, to be honest, Colin, this is going to be good for me. I reckon I'll play around with this for spoken word, because when I record my podcast and when I record video audio, often I just want to throw a quick. I don't need to tweak it and make it perfect. I just need it to be at a good level and add a little compression and maybe some EQ to my voice. So I'm going to be trying that on some future videos as well, to get the audio out here and do that. So very cool stuff. I like it. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check and see, has my new video been updated? G'day Ed Z, by the way. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I'm going to see if my new video has been updated. So we're going to dive into the back end of YouTube Studio. So if you don't like the behind the scenes stuff, if you just want the front of house stuff, then you're free to go. Feel free. But yeah, do let me know if you have any questions about Logic Pro for iPad, about upgrading or updating, about GarageBand or anything else. Ask them here in the live chat or on the replay if that's where you're hanging out. But we need to get this video out here because I need to make sure folks are aware that we have a brand new update here. Oh, it's still updating because I haven't had it running behind the scenes. It is still uploading that video. But that doesn't mean that we can't come in here and do some of our editing to this as it stands and get ready for when it's completed uploading. Robert is thrilled. Yeah, it's exactly what Apple needed to do. Everyone that was saying, we don't want a 1.01 or a 1.02, we want a 1.1 update that does a whole bunch of stuff. That's exactly what this is. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to be cool. So would you like to come with me? This is the behind the scenes of the YouTube video. So here's my title. Update Logic Pro for iPad version 1.1 released is what we're going to go with there. And then we will add a description here to this video while it continues to upload. So Logic Pro for iPad update version 1.1 has been released, including the new mastering assistant, and what was the other thing called? It was the fresh and flow. No, the elements. I got to remember it now. I'm going to slide over here to Logic Pro to remember what it was called. Mastering assistant and it's not here. Logic Pro for iPad update. It is called the following thing. Hybrid textures. It wasn't elements at all. Had nothing to do with elements. And hybrid textures sound pack. All right. I've then got, for my Logic Pro videos, I have a pre-saved template. So if you're thinking, you have to type in all that stuff every time. No, I go over to my notes and then I paste in, and that's what it does. It puts all of my description with all of the links and all the things that we need to do there, including links to the other Logic Pro for iPad videos, my information there, how to download Logic Pro for iPad. And in this case, I don't need timestamps because it's a very quick video. It's only like 8-9 minutes or something like that. In this case, I will also need to put here the link to what we have there. So I'll just put a little microphone icon there, and then I'll put Logic Pro for iPad 1.1 release notes, because those are what people will want as well. And thankfully, here's where I've prepared that earlier. So we'll copy that and pop that over here in the description, ready to go. Next thing I do here is take all of this and make this a pinned comment. Because in this and all my other Logic Pro videos, what I do is I jump in, and very early in the video, I'll say, if you are new to Logic Pro and you want to learn how to do it, check out the video linked below. And it's good to have it in both the description and over here. Now you can see here, it's still being processed, so it's not available there. But if we paste the comment here, we can do that, and it will pop up. And I always give my own comments a like, because I'm a very conceited and very egotistical person. I'm going to pin my own comment to the top there. That just means that when folks are watching the video here on the watch page, the very first comment's going to have links to all the things. By the way, if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, if you like the behind the scenes, this is the sort of stuff I share over on Patreon. So if you're enjoying this side of things, feel free to sign up to Patreon. It's only $1 per month, and we do live streams. We got one happening tomorrow, and we'll probably be doing some Logic Pro for iPad stuff tomorrow on the live stream. So that's all set up there. The other things that I do here is my thumbnail. Now, I've actually prepared a thumbnail earlier. I use canva.com for my thumbnails, so we'll jump into Canva, and I've got a nice big bright thumbnail that just does this. It says new version 1.1 update, points to that. I've found that in 2023, with a lot of the vertical videos and the 30-second and 60-second videos and the attention spans, if someone's scrolling through, this says everything I need it to. I could go Apple Logic Pro version 1.1 update with the brand new mastering assistant and the brand new no, we just need simple. So we're going to go with this one. I'll download that to make sure that we've got a nice PNG file of that one. Hit the download button. Oops, I've called it Logic Pro Color. Let's just change this one. Logic Pro V1.1. We'll change the title of it. Oh, let's open it up in the wrong spot. Logic Pro V1.1. That's better. All right, so we've got that one there, and we will now download it with its correct file name, because I'm a pedant and I like things to be all nice and matching. So there you go. So that's been added there. We now come over to here. It's downloaded. We throw that in as our thumbnail and update it here. Thank you, Rodriguez. Have I said Rodriguez? Thanks, Pete, for walking through the updates. I myself have not pulled the trigger and purchased. Yeah, don't forget also, now's probably the best possible time to do the free trial. There's a free 30-day trial for Logic Pro for iPad if you want to check it out. And yes, no obligation, no credit card required. Well, I think for Apple you do need to have a payment method, but it won't charge you anything, and you'll be notified. The thing is, with Apple, anytime you're doing a trial, sign up for it and cancel it immediately. They probably don't want me to tell you this, but sign up, cancel immediately, because then when it gets to the end of that time period, it will not auto-renew. It'll probably tell you, and then you can go in and renew it manually. But have you ever done that thing where you do a free week trial or a free 2-week trial, and then suddenly you forget the end date, even though you've put a reminder in, and suddenly you've been charged all the money? Yeah, the good thing about Apple is when you subscribe through Apple, through the App Store, then you have the option to cancel it immediately. You still get to use it. It doesn't cancel it until the date of the end of the free trial. But then once the free trial's over, it's over. You don't have to worry. Yep, 30 days free trial. Rodriguez. Apologies, Rodriguez. Or is it Quez? So it'd be Riquez. I like to try to get pronunciations correct. Pete, that not conceit. That's YouTube's CEO. Yeah. Thank you. You're right. It is because YouTube like to see likes, and they like to see engagement. So yeah, I know. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words there. So we're going to add this one. I happen to have a Logic Pro tutorials for iPad already here, so I'm going to put that in there and hit the save button. So it's going to go into my Logic Pro for iPad tutorials playlist. The other thing that we need to do here that's less important these days, but still worth doing. By the way, I'm just going to go back to this upload. I keep leaving the upload screen on YouTube on my iPad, and it keeps stopping and slowing down. So it's only got a minute left, but every time I leave, it doesn't upload very fast in the background. So it's going to take a little minute. But again, feel free to hang out. We'll just have a chat. So let's do some tags. So this is where tags used to be super important. These days, they're way less important. So I just put in here some basic ones: Logic Pro for iPad, Logic Pro iPad, Logic iPad update, Logic update, Logic Pro update, Logic Pro iPad update. You can see what I'm doing here. Logic Pro iPad update, Logic Pro 4 iPad update, Pro 4 iPad update, update 1.1, version 1.1. So basically any combination of what people might be searching for to get to this. So Logic Pro sound pack. Now we need Logic Mastering Assistant, Logic Pro Mastering Assistant, Logic Pro iPad Mastering Assistant. See the glamorous life of I've put assistants. It's assistant. The glamorous life of a YouTuber content creator. This is the stuff we have to do behind the scene. Logic Mastering Assistant. I think the video's uploaded now. I keep typing assistants. Logic Pro Mastering Assistant. Now I've got to remember what it called the pack. It is the hybrid textures. So hybrid textures, sample alchemy, and that'll do for now. iPad, we'll put there. iPad, iOS. So that's our basics. So you can do up to 500 characters, and I used to fill every character, and now I tend to do less because of the time. To all those who long to remember the commercial, you could call me too young. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm too young. And Australian. I do miss things. I knew someone called Chris Rodriguez. I called him C-Rod. Yeah. Well, now that I'm Petebull, that's cool. What did it say here? There's another trick for general subscriptions. A lot of credit cards let you create a virtual credit. Yes, with a credit card with a dollar limit and expiration date. Yes, you can definitely do that as well. There's complete services, and some banks let you do it as well. Where you do it. I've got a separate sort of online credit card I only use for online stuff that has a pretty low limit that I just keep in check. That does not link to any of my real actual money, because debit cards can be a danger. Because someone gets hold of your credit card, and Visa or MasterCard, they're not really taking your money. They're taking the bank's money. As soon as you get a debit card, people can be taking your money. So you can do that. You can call me Rod. You can call me Riquez. You can call him Joe, and you can call him something like that. Rightio. So that has uploaded now, and you can see now that it's processing. So it's 14%, 12 minutes left of the video processing. We're going to stick with it, folks, because why not? I'll show you the whole process end to end here. We'll start setting up some of the promotion things that I do, so putting it out there to Facebook, and some of the other things I do for. In fact, I'll show you one thing while that's processing, and while we've got a little bit of extra time. These days, I also create a version here in Canva of this that has like a square version, because if you put this on somewhere like Instagram or on your YouTube feed or other places, it's not going to look so good like that. So what I tend to do is, let's just grab one that we've used previously, because it's not going to be a premiere, this one. It's going to be a new video. So we'll use this template, but it'll be the new Logic Pro video. So we'll grab this, and what we'll do is I literally just put the thumbnail in the middle here. So we'll delete that old thumbnail, and we'll just put new Logic Pro iPad update. New Logic Pro iPad update. We don't want that in red. That looks really bad. We'll put all of that in white. And then down here we'll say new sample pack. Sample pack and mastering assistant. See, I keep typing assistants. Assistant. And we'll stretch that out like that. We'll DMB. In fact, if we just enter there, is that going to... No, it doesn't quite have enough room. We'll make this 115. No, still not enough room. There we go. So we'll make all of that text the same size just for consistency. We'll select all that. Make it all 105, I reckon will fit in there. Yep, there we go. And then we just slide in. This is the cool thing. We can actually add in the thumbnail and just create ourselves a nice little square thing here. So we'll drag this on in. Bump. Pop that in the middle. And then slide it over there. And put it over there. Center it. And there we go. So there we've got a nice little square version. In fact, that stuff up the top there, that should probably also be a little smaller just to match the text down below. There you go, new Logic Pro for iPad update. And then this is what we can actually share on things like Instagram and on my YouTube feed. So if people don't see the original video, they've got it there. So let's call this one new video, change it from copy, new video 2000 by 2000 pixel. And save that one out. Let's jump back over now that we save this one. And by the way, when you're saving graphics to use, always use a PNG. It's going to be the best quality for your graphics there as well. Go back over to our video. By the time you actually see this, you're going to be like, man, this is a video a long time in the making. So there's our video. There's all the stuff we have there. You can see here it's got SD. Oh, it's just ticked over. Nope, it's got 44 minutes left. Is it really going to take 44 minutes to do that HD? I hope not. Otherwise, we won't be able to release it live here. But hopefully it'll do that quicker than 44 minutes. Otherwise, you may get the first look at this as the SD version, and I may have to wait because it's a good idea to make sure that that's at least got the 1080p version there. It's processed at 2 quality levels, so it can be played by all users. So we may not quite get there to being able to release it, but we'll get close. We can, however, go and just do a check. So I always come over to the video and do a quick check here. And what I like to do, and we'll get to watch this live here together, what I like to do is just make sure that I don't have any editing mistakes, that everything is in order. And in fact, I might even do timestamping just to show you the complete end-to-end. If there's any cards that I need to add, I'll pause as I go through in my check watching and add those cards in. And cards are those little ticket things that come up the top of the YouTube video when you're watching them. So we'll do that, and we'll add the end screen in here as well. So why don't we hit the play button on this? You'll get to see my little first look at the Logic Pro for iPad update. And I don't go into a lot of detail, so fair warning here, I kind of do what we did in this video as well. So you've already seen a lot of this, but let's take a look and a listen. Apple have just released the first major update for Logic Pro for iPad version 1.1. It's a huge update, and in this video we're going to take a first look at everything that we have. Here is the what's new. We can go through that in just a jiffy. The bottom line here is we've got a brand new hybrid textures pack, and we've got a whole bunch of bug fixes, quality of life improvements and enhancements. So this isn't a huge update in terms of brand new features, but if you've been struggling with version 1 and you've been waiting for version 1.1 to fix some of those problems, this is going to be for you. To download this, all you need to... So 35 seconds is where we're going to say how to download it. So let's add in timestamps. What I use here is whoops, that's Spotlight Search, that's the wrong one. I use my emojis because I like the way they look in here, and I use my little clock emoji. So we can type clock in here in our emoji. By the way, if you're on a Mac and you want to access emojis, it is Option Command Spacebar to bring up your emoji keyboard like that, which I use all the time because we live in a world of emojis, and that's the way. So we go 0000, and we go new update, what we call that, and then was it 35 seconds that we talked about that? To do is jump into your app store here. Search for Logic Pro for iPad,
35 seconds.
and you'll have an update button right here. I've already updated it, ready to rock and roll. Here's what's new. We've got a few little notes here. There's also a complete release notes, which I've linked down in the description. We'll be taking a look at some of those just to brush over them, because there are literally hundreds of them. So I'll let you explore those as well in your own time. But we are going to cover
also
some
my
of the
favorite
major
shortcut,
ones
Thomas.
in this video here.
Option,
so
command,
once you've
spacebar.
downloaded it here in the App Store, just hit the open button. And it looks about the same, right? There's not a heap that jumps out at you that is different, but it's what's under the hood. It's all of those improvements and bug fixes that are going to be good. In terms of new stuff, there's a couple of new things here. There's the new mastering, which is sample pack. Let's hit this preview button and take a little listen. At about 138, we'll put the sample pack there. Sounds pretty cool. So good sort of sound design. So that's kind
the
of stuff. We've got 81
hybrid
upper loops
textures.
and 70 sample
Hybrid
alchemy patches that we'll be playing around with in that one in the future. So to get to these, you just go into your sound library as we showed there. Over here,
Skip forward.
need to be updated to iPad OS. With this is you do need to be hit the get button. That'll install those and be ready to go. Now, the big thing you need to keep in mind with this is
where we talk about this.
Just turn me down for a second. So 208, should you update, which is going to be important. You update, and then pretty much the rest of it is all just going to be all the actually update
all the changes.
Please
all the
do that if you're in the
things.
middle of a major project. But if, like me, you've finished off some songs, you're ready to update, you'll need to update to
Just going to skip through
mastering
here.
assist is cool. We can record live into the quick sub. Great mastering in Logic Pro. Some of those it delivers one, and then install the update to Logic Pro version 1.1. As I mentioned here, the what's new section here has a few.
All right, 240. So 240 is where we go into all the details. So basically, if update details. So the reason I put this in here is that someone that's watching this will be able to see that, and they'll go, hey, I just want to know all the details. I want to skip all your preamble, Johns, and they can just skip straight to 240. So we'll save that one in there and be good to go. How's this processing going? High definition complete. So what does it say? It said it'll be 44 minutes, Johns. And then 4 minutes later, it's complete. So don't trust the time that it tells you. Now, if you want to check that when you've uploaded your video, we just need to refresh it. So I'm just going to refresh this one here. Yes, Tremor Bear, you do indeed have to be on 17 point, at least 17.01, but 17.1 is what it'll update you to now. You do need that for the new version. Going to give myself a like because, again, I like myself. And to check this, if you tap on this settings button here, you can see that we now have the ability to watch this in 720p or 1080p at 60 frames a second. And we've got these little updates here. So again, if someone just wants to go straight to the update details, they hit that and it will. The what's new play it. And here has a few of the new things, so let's dive into some of those. It delivers. You can deliver a release-ready mix with the mastering assistant, and the reason I use 60 frames per second for this sort of stuff is that the iPad's at 60 frames a second, and it just gives you smoother visuals. Like my video is only captured at 30 frames a second, so it's nothing for that. But I do want the iPad video that I'm using there to be at the full 60 frames per second. So that is all good there. So let's do a quick check here. That's all fine and dandy. We then come back over to here, and we're going to talk about a few things here, like monetization in a sec, which I'm going to take you behind the curtain of how I make money on YouTube. Let's hit the end screen button here, because what I want is when we get to the end of this video, I want to send folks the ability to subscribe. So I'm going to hit plus there and hit subscribe, stick that in the top corner, and then I only want one thing, which I want folks to have my complete Logic Pro for iPad tutorials playlist, because the idea here is there might be people that are new to Logic Pro. They're going to get that playlist and click that. It's going to take them right back to my how to get started with Logic Pro video, and then it's going to have all the other videos through there. Let's just see where, because it gives you 20 seconds here by default. Let's just play this. For Logic Pro users everywhere, that's going to do it. So where I say that's going to do it, that's usually where I do. I usually try to do around about just under a 20-second final preamble, just so that I can bring up the final stuff here. Let's just see how this looks. For Logic Pro users everywhere, that's going to do it for this first look. I hope you're excited. Let me know, though. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are your opinions? I'd love to hear those down in the comments while you're there. And
hit
we
the
are
thumbs up. Check out all
to go. So let's go to monetization. So I'm a full-time YouTube content creator. I need to actually put ads in my videos. I know. I'm sorry. Yes, if we had if I had 1,000 more patrons, maybe all of this stuff could be not done. So when we add monetization, we just have to say that we're doing none of these. Now, I don't basically do anything to do with controversial issues, with violence, with sensitive events. Nothing here. It's a Logic Pro update, people. It's going to be fine. So I put all that in and hit submit. We then hit the save button there, and that's going to save in my monetization settings. And then we can control mid-roll ads. Now, I only ever put in one mid-roll ad in any video under 10 minutes. I could, if I wanted to, put a mid-roll ad in every 2 minutes that you're watching this, but I don't want to do that. I just want to put in one. So we're going to find a spot here that's a logical natural break around the middle and actually put an ad break in here. In fact, you know what I think would actually be better? Where we put that timestamp in, I reckon that's going to be the spot just before there. So people that are watching just all the basic start stuff will get it. And then if you want all the details at 2 minutes 40, we'll put another ad in there. I think that makes the most sense as a logical break point for this. So let's just play. Come on, YouTube. Sometimes it takes a little while here. I know people like Thomas Christ and Jade are watching this going, oh, thank God it's not only me that has this problem. Sometimes it's Logic Pro version 1.1. As I mentioned here, the What's New section here has a few of the new things. So let's dive into some of those. All right. I think that's the spot. Let's dive into some of those and then give you a little break. So that's when we're going to dive in. And you can scroll right in here and make sure that you set this right at the point there. So let's just preview what that's going to look like for folks. Here. Oh, you can dive into some of those. You can deliver a release-ready mix with the mastering assistant and its professional. I should have paused a little more, but didn't really think about it. So let's hit continue there. Let's hit save. And look, some people are going to say to me, yeah, you shouldn't even put any other ads in there, but yeah, it's just par for the course, unfortunately. It's part of the territory of being a YouTube content creator, is that the platform that we have here, yeah, it's ad-supported. I know. I shouldn't apologize for it, but I know that some people will say, don't put ads in. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is, as many people say. My favorite expression, not. So let's just do a final quick check here. This is my final check that I do to make sure I've done everything in here. I've got all my details down at the bottom there. I've added my end screen. I don't think there's any card. Actually, there might be a spot that we need a card. I think I mentioned somewhere. You know what? It's in the description. It doesn't really matter. Does anyone actually click those cards that pop up at the top? I don't tend to do that much. Yeah, so I think we're ready to go here. Now, this is unlisted at the moment. You'll also notice that there's no restrictions, so it's not going to have any restrictions for being shown to anyone anywhere in the world, already monetization restrictions. I'm happy with my title. I'm happy with my thumbnail. I think we're good to go. So what we can do here, and if you've got your notifications on, you'll probably get this pushed out to you, is that we can hit the public button and we can hit done and then save. So that now goes out to the world and is ready to go. What I then do is, and I'll just pop over here for a sec, places like the Logic Pro Facebook group and my own group called Create Record Release and my Studio Live Today page, I normally paste these in here. Let's open the Logic Pro for iPad users group, and I'll just show you. It's a private group, so I'm not going to show you any other information except my post here. So let's come back on over here. Thomas got the notification. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. It's all about the algorithm. Mark, notification. Cool. I'm glad. The system works. So what I normally do here is in my Facebook groups is for promotion, to let people know that this is out there. I will grab the thumbnail and put that there so that they can see that. And I'll just put here, update. Logic Pro version 1.1 is finally here. And I'll use a little CD logo there. And I'll put a link to my video. Now, if we copy the link there, we'll see what it does here. We'll paste it. Yeah, it's use the short link. That's cool. So I don't have to adjust the link. My first look at what's new. That's all we need there. I'll put an exclamation point, because who doesn't love an exclamation point? Or a 1. Logic Pro version 1.1 is finally here. A first look at what's new. All right, we'll copy that and we'll post it. So that's going to post that there in the Logic Pro for iPad users group. I'll now go away and post that in my Create, Record, Release group. By the way, is everyone in the are you all Facebook users? The Create, Record, Release group is a cool place to be. And I'll just make sure, again, yep, no, there's nothing being shown there that's private. So do join this. I'll paste this here and then I'll put a link there, because if you're on Facebook, or even if you're not, join up to Facebook and just say, Pete said on GarageBand Weekly, what are these things? Has anyone seen these weird things lately? Additional reporting on this? Like, I think it's because there's misinformation going out there in some groups, but I don't know why that's going in a group there. I'll thank you, Thomas. Thomas has shared the link there if you'd like to come and hang out with us at Create, Record, Release. What I'll also do there is just come down here and make that pinned to the featured, so that folks that are on the Create, Record, Release group will see it when they first slide on in there. All right, let's just make sure that this is all happening and it's all looking good and public now. So we'll jump back over to here. There's the video there. Someone else has already liked it as well as me. So we've got it ready to rock and roll. Now, I won't do it straight away, but in about an hour, just to make sure that everyone that maybe didn't get the notification or already got a notification for this show and hasn't seen it, I use the post feature here to do this. So if you go to create here and create post, you need to have either a musician account, like a verified musician account, or be part of the partner program, but you can actually post to your community feed. So what I do here, in fact, let's schedule it now. I'll put an image here. I'll go select from the computer. Where's that one we made? Oh, it's a zip file. We didn't download it properly. So let's go back to this one. We downloaded that as a compressed file instead of a PNG. So let's re-download this. We'll go to PNG, and we just want it to be page 1. And download this one, our little new video logo button there. We'll then come over to here, we'll hit the button, and then we'll tap it and hit it and put that same text there. But here's the cool thing, we don't need to release that now. I can actually schedule this. So we'll come down here and schedule the post. And I'll put this out maybe like an hour's time. So today here in Australia, it's the November the 7th. We're here in the future. And it's also 11 a.m. So let's push this out at midday, shall we? Once some folks will have already seen it. And then if they haven't seen it, in fact, I'll put it out at 12:15 p.m. Always like to schedule things off the hour, because a lot of people set their stuff to go out right on the hour. So we'll schedule that one to go out there. And that will tell me in a sec that it's all scheduled and ready to go. There you go. Post has been scheduled, or scheduled, if you would like to say it that way around. Oh, it's been a big day already, and it's only going to get busier over the next couple of days for me. Videos that I want to work on, I want to do a full exploration of the Mastering Assistant, which will probably be tomorrow's video. I think that's the most interesting part of this. I'll be diving into the complete pack as well, the new sound pack, and then I'm going to kick off. I'm going to start doing these read the full manual. I tried it last time and I got like halfway through the first chapter and it was like a 2-hour video. So I need to work out exactly how we're going to do this. So if you've got any ideas, if you've got good ideas, then go ahead and let me know in the comments or in the chat. Zip files were created by the devil. Yeah. All right. I got those on a video about BeatHawk. The app is being used to spread disinfo. That's weird. Yeah. Isn't it bizarre? So bizarre. And yeah, and I get it. Facebook won't be for everyone. That's why we do the YouTube thing here as well. All right, that is going to do it. An extra bonus edition here. Hope you liked this little peek behind the scenes about how we put out a video here on YouTube as well. Don't forget to join the groups if you're not already part of the Discord or the Facebook group or any of the other places. You can do that. Head to studiolivetoday.com if you'd like to keep up to date with all the stuff we got going around here. If you'd like to hit the thumbs up on your way out, if you enjoyed this and if you're excited to play around with Logic Pro for iPad version 1.1, and until next time, folks, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating. Patrons, check your emails. We've got Patreon Live happening tomorrow. I'll see you there. And for the non-patron folks, we'll be back with a bunch of great live shows for you over the weekend, next weekend as well as a bunch of videos coming up about Logic Pro for iPad. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.